Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So in this one I wanted to discuss as to why I believe that the Barebones playlist should actually be permanent in this game. I don't think it should be taken away and then brought back like a lot of the other things that they've been doing in this game. This one specifically I think needs to stay, and if anything I think that Treyarch should basically, like with every update, I think they should just give us a different variation of Barebones. In other words, keep Team Deathmatch and Domination permanent, since those two game modes are the most popular in the game. It makes sense to keep those forever, obviously, right? And at the same time, you could just rotate other game modes with every update that you release on a weekly basis or whatnot, and you can just keep rotating those out, like free for all, kill confirmed, search and destroy, you guys name it. And for this commentary I also specifically chose this gameplay because in this gameplay there are two other players on the other team that are teamed up, and they are Prestige Masters. One of them is a 90 something and the other one's 150 something, and they're on the same team. They might be partied up as well, but and they are ahead for most of the game, but I was actually able to come back and basically carry my team to victory. And if it wasn't, and if it was just a regular playlist, a regular TDM, I can assure you that the chances of that happening would be much lower, because of the chaos that the specialists in this game induce. Now, I know that this game revolves around the specialist. It was kind of designed to be so, and quite frankly, I think they, like I mentioned before in previous videos, I think they overdid it with the specialist, because now we have both our equipment as well as the ability. And quite frankly, I think we could all agree that they don't really take skill to earn. And as a matter of fact, in this game specifically, because of, I don't know if it's because of the increased aim assist compared to Black Ops 3 or whatever the hell it is, but they're also easier to use. Like if you compare the Annihilator, for instance, if you compare the Annihilator of Black Ops 3 to the Annihilator of this game's Annihilator is much simpler, much easier to use. Because there's aim assist and you can fire it from the hip pretty consistently. It's a lot easier to use. Same thing as with the Tempest or whatnot. So, and on top of that, you also have the equipment, which can kill people, or if not, annoy them or freeze them, and help them get that easy kill, which to me is really overkill in this game. And I think the players that are paying for it the most are the good players more than anybody else. And I'm gonna explain why. So here's the way it is, right? So you've got about 5 to 6 people in the lobby, right, on any given team, and obviously in free-for-all you've got 8 total, right? So because people are having the specialists basically given to them within any period of time, right, you could literally spawn and get killed by a random specialist, and spawn back in and get killed by another random specialist or equipment, and spawn back. This happens more often than it should, and I think that the good players themselves are the ones that are paying the most. Now, I know that some of you guys are going to say, well, Jack, the good players may earn the specialist at an accelerated rate, which means they can also get kills at an accelerated rate. This is true, but at the same time, again, when everybody in the lobby, even the bad players, when those guys, and there are a lot more bad players than there are good, okay? When those guys get those specialist equipment and their abilities, often, especially if they use the gear that allows them to get it even faster, that basically does more work for them with just, you know, selecting something as opposed to them earning it with gun kills. I'm telling you, man, that shit is really annoying. And if you want to get mathematical, I'll explain just how annoying it is. Like, in terms of EKIA, I'm about a 2.3 or close to that in this game, right? Okay, in terms of EKIA ratio, but EKIA ratio is not kill death ratio, okay? And I look at my kills, I look at my deaths, I look at the stats page or whatnot when I press start or whatever it is, and basically I'm about a 1.7 to 1.8. In the last 5 or 6 Call of Duties or so, give or take, in the last few Call of Duties, I've been averaging anywhere from a 2 to a 3. Basically, usually I average about a 2.5. I'll be like at about a 2 or so, or slightly above a 2 in the beginning, and then I accelerate as time goes on with the game. Now, it has happened with this game as well, but pretty much not like the results are very, very, very little, simply because of the fact that, well, the way we get the way the specialists work in this game really has that kind of an impact. So, but in this game mode here in Barebones, without much effort, with me just playing the way I play, and there are sweaty lobbies in this one as well, and the team balancing algorithm is just as brutal in this game mode and playlist as it is in any other in this game. I could tell you without a shadow of a doubt, without a shadow's hesitation, with anything, that usually the lowest that I average is a 3, and I usually go well above that, whether it's domination or team deathmatch. Team deathmatch more often, because with domination, I do play the objective, even though it's been kind of altered in this game a little bit in terms of the flavor of domination we're getting with Barebones here, to where you can still get kills and it'll still contribute to the score. Granted, they're on the objective, but still, even with that being said, I still like to cap flags because I like to play for the win. But the problem is that, well, if you have bad players on your team and you have to carry them, and if you have 2 or more good players on the other team and you're playing domination, well, they're gonna they have a much higher chance of winning because your teammates don't know what the heck they're doing, but it's an objective game mode, so it's a little bit different. So with TDM is a whole different beast. So, but yeah, I mean, so when you look at it in every single aspect, again, when you introduce chaos, you eliminate skill, as Thunder once said, and I wholeheartedly agree. And Black Ops 4 really did prove that, well, you don't have to have advanced movement to be chaotic. I mean, it's really easy for Call of Duty to be chaotic, whether it's a boots on the ground or an advanced movement game. It's simple as that. Like, for instance, if the spawns are bad, that's enough for chaos, believe it or not. Or, for instance, let's say you have something like Specialist, sure, but the fact that we have both the equipment and the ability in this game is really what puts it overboard. And if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, which I just mentioned, it really does make the difference. And I also feel that the good players are the ones that usually pay for it the most, because good players will also play solo, and they're also dealing with the team balancing algorithm and then the random specialists and specialist equipment. I mean, you guys remember Hive from Black Ops 3? Like, it would take about 3 seconds, give or take, for the Hive to disappear after you killed the Nomad that placed the Hive down, right? So, but in this game, they've made it a part of the specialist. Like, in other words, if somebody plants the mesh mine or whatnot, it doesn't disappear unless, even when they die, it doesn't disappear at all. It'll stay there the entire game, and you can literally have a whole bunch of mesh mines planted by bad players put all over the place, and sometimes you can even find yourself being trapped within spawn upon that. So, and if you're a solo player, that's definitely not good for you, and especially when when the team balancing algorithm basically keeps on feeding kills to the other team and all that kind of stuff. So, it is what it is, man. So, a lot of randomness and a lot of chaos is basically part of, and the inconsistencies are basically what's made Black Ops 4 very annoying, to say the least, within the community, I believe so. But Barebones is a step in the right direction, as I mentioned in a previous video. So so I believe it should be permanent, so that way that option is always there for people that just do not want the specialist. And obviously, I think it should remain in hardcore as well, because there is a hardcore community, and we don't want to leave them out of this. And again, every single update, they can just alternate game modes. So you can have kill confirmed, you can have free for all, you can have search and destroy, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I personally would love a free for all Barebones. I'd be all over it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for this one, guys. That's my thoughts, my experience, my opinion. I know that some of you might disagree. I know some of you might say, fuck you, Jack, just deal with the game and shut the fuck up. But seriously though, there is, obviously the proof is in the pudding, and I believe that gun on gun should always be at the forefront of Call of Duty. Call of Duty is simple enough at its core to where gun on gun is simple enough. So, and it should be enough, and it should always be about gun skill first before anything else. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for this one. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I could do to make my videos better. I'll catch you guys on the next one.